to talk about somebody else who is extremely controversial. And that, my friends, is Sydney Sweeney. Did you guys see the super viral Sydney Sweeney ads that went out this past week?
Yes, I did.
Of course.
I bought everything.
just throwing down the money as fast as you possibly can.
I don't even wear women's clothing, but
Eric, did you see
my cousin has that.
Yeah, I got like 4 pairs of American Eagle jorts on their way. So
just
hell yeah, man.
Well, apparently you have good genes too, because that was the whole tagline of this. But not everybody is happy here, including people who look exactly like this.
Yeah. She doesn't have good genes?
Yeah, so let's go and see why people are so upset with Sydney Sweeney.
I will be the friend that's too woke because those Sydney Sweeney American Eagle ads are weird. Like fascist weird. Like Nazi propaganda weird.
My body's composition is determined by my genes.
I'm sorry, Jeff, is this your first time seeing this, friend?
I heard about it. I didn't realize with such certainty this woman would speak. I couldn't make it through without laughing. But anyway,
I know.
I'm
No,
sorry.
it's great. No, by all means, just giggle away because this is just insanity here.
Hey, eyes up here.
Sydney Sweeney has very keen.
Oh, there's the point again.
From parents to
Thank you,
offspring,
Phoenix.
often determining traits like hair color, personality,
I haven't seen this
even eye
one.
color. My genes are blue.
Sydney Sweeney has very keen.
Should we be surprised that a company whose name is literally American Eagle is making fascist propaganda like this?
American Eagle, a terrible name. That's sad. That is so sad. And you know what? It makes sense if you look behind her what flag she has on the wall.
Oh, yeah.
The American flag.
Is it wrong? The first thing I noticed was the Pikachu in the background more than anything else.
Oh yeah, look at that.
A lot of
All the way in the
broken
back.
folks. A lot
Damn.
of broken folks over there. But yeah, this is the face that that she should be making. Me. Let's see.
Why do
Well,
they all
actually
look the
face-
same? They all have the round face, the big glasses, the piercings, the unwashed
Because
hair.
Labs, they don't have good genes spelled with a G.
That's
so they all
true.
right.
They don't look like Sydney.
let's go ahead and see if
So
she has
they're
any.
jealous.
See if she has any valid points here.
Probably not, but it's still really shocking. Like a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white woman is talking about her good genes. Like, that is Nazi propaganda.
Good-looking people
What
have
else-
good genes. That's doesn't matter if she's blonde and blue-eyed. She could be
Right.
a brunette with brown
Right.
eyes.
Yeah.
And she's got good genes.
It could be
Yeah.
Tyra Banks or whatever. You know, like it could be anybody.
She's got good
But
genes.
Sydney Sweeney just happens to be the flavor of the month right now, and you know, it fits. It fits right here.
Curious if when Zendaya was more popular a couple years ago, if this fat little Frogan was going around bitching instead because Zendaya's half black, right? So would she be calling her a Nazi and a fascist and all these
You
things
know
when
the
she was
answer is
being
no.
super duper sexy in her clothing outfits and everything? What?
Was
No.
Zendaya ever sexy though?
Here's the thing. That I don't personally think she's all that sexy. However, she was being circulated in all these different commercials, right? Where she like,
The it girl. Like she was the it girl, like Sydney Sweeney.
exactly. She was all these different fashion icons. I forget all these names. Who the hell cares? But yeah, she was like super duper famous. Lots of people were trying to get her for their
both in the
designer
same- what is
clothes
that,
or
Euphoria show?
perfume and whatnot.
So I see this freeze frame here on screen, and I feel
He's
like
reading.
I feel like this is exactly how she walks around all day, just like looking concerned about everything all the
One eye
time.
looks like it's
constantly.
looking in a different direction.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
scanning constantly for things to be upset about. So, but let's just see. Maybe she has some good points here, guys. Let's just see.
Talking about like all of the young girls who are doing their back to school shopping right now at places like American Eagle who are seeing ads like this. Yikes. Also, American Eagle is mostly a brand that like teenagers to like young adults shop at, and so the fact that like this type of advertising is being used that feels so for the male gaze and so over sexualized, like I just don't like it.
I
I
understand.
wonder why she doesn't like it.
I get it now. I get it now. Okay, so this chick was very, very self-conscious when she was younger, because obviously when you go to the mall back in the day, you saw American Eagle, Abercrombie, Gilly Hicks, all these clothing companies that had the models in the front, right? They had the super duper sexy outfits and everything. Everyone was super thin. Everyone was sexy and beautiful. She felt so attacked personally because her fat little ass couldn't even fit in the biggest jeans that they sold, so now she's coming after them when she's an adult. Am I
Yeah,
wrong?
what do you mean?
You're not wrong. Blabs, all this comes down to insecurity.
Yeah, she's
1000%.
pissed. She's like, I couldn't fit in their biggest size jeans. Rip.
Yes, 1000%. It comes down to insecurity. And
Yep.
I think that's the most amazing thing about all this to me is that, like, I know that this lady she can't even tell you what a woman is, but she's going to complain about how Sydney Sweeney and being a woman is upset. It's the fat lady who can't tell you what a woman is being upset about the hot woman selling jeans over here. But
She'd be
here we go.
clutching pearls.
Oh my God, is she? Well,
Now, pearls are sexist. Only women wear those. She would never wear those.
she's
Gender conforming.
she is clutching that bull ring, man, around her nose right there.
That septum ring.
Okay, all right,
Oh, hi.
awesome. In just a minute, we're going to be joined by Jennifer Say, who I'm sure will have a lot to say about this, who also has spent her career more or less selling jeans, which I'm very excited for. Let's go and bring Jennifer in right now, and we can continue this conversation with Jennifer, and then get into the bigger conversation. Jennifer, are you with us?
Hi.
We do. Oh, there's double me. We'll get you in just a second. Hang tight. Jennifer, how are you? We'll get you on camera in a second. How you been? Yeah, of course. We'll get you on screen in a second. Have you seen this? I saw you comment about the Jennifer Say stuff. I'm sorry, the Jennifer Say the Jennifer Say stuff, the Sydney Sweeney stuff.
Yes, I love talking about this.
Yeah. So, did you see the reaction that people had to?
Before you continue, the chat can't hear her yet until now.
She's probably heard now that she's
Yeah. Hi, Jen.
Okay,
nice
cool.
to see you
Hi.
again.
Hi, everybody. Nice to see you.
It's great to see you again. So, did you see the response here from this lady who is clearly insecure with herself about Sydney Sweeney selling jeans? Did you see this video?
I have seen wide-ranging responses. The first being, the internet went crazy and the stock price jumped 15% in one day. I would say this is not a revolutionary ad campaign. Hot girls in jeans have been selling jeans and other things since basically forever. So there's nothing revolutionary here. It just feels new and fresh because lately, the last 5 to 10 years has been very woke, and American Eagle's been focused on, body positivity, which was not necessarily hot girls in jeans. So, and they executed it really well. I gotta give them total props as somebody who's did jeans advertising for 23 years. They did a really good job. I did notice then the follow-up feedback from people saying this was a Nazi campaign. I think that's the one you were just showing.
Yeah.
Which is so stupid. I mean, I don't even know what to say. Like, she's a beautiful girl. She looks great in the jeans. It makes people want to buy the jeans. It makes women want to buy the jeans. It makes men want to look at the jeans, which makes women want to buy the jeans even more. This is not a novel concept. And if I could say, as the head marketer for Levi's for many, many years, the number of ad agencies that pushed an idea like this on me that was, it's in the jeans. Like, there's nothing Nazi or even particularly clever here. It's kind of the first, tagline that comes to mind when you think about advertising jeans. So I don't know what's wrong with that lady. I don't know what you guys were saying about it. I missed that, but
lots is wrong.
dumb.
She's super duper insecure about herself, and she's just taking it on other people and calling people names. That it's so insulting. Even if you think about it, let's just say like you're around 1940s Europe, and someone's like, "You're a Nazi." It's like, do you understand the ramifications of that? And you just freely say these things now. It's so watered down. It's like calling everybody a racist. It's like, you have no idea the words that you are saying. You can't even like define these words. It's wild to me.
Yeah, it's really dumb. That word and many others have been overused to the point of having zero meaning anymore.
Yep.
I don't know what else to say. It's a beautiful woman in jeans. There's nothing Nazi or
Crazy.
supremacist about it. She's a beautiful, very famous, very popular woman. She has 25 million Instagram followers. She's right in the target audience's sites for this brand. What I did actually like about the campaign that I thought made it a little unique is it had kind of a sense of humor. I mean, she seems to be kind of self-deprecating. And has, pretty great self-awareness about who she is and why people like her. So I thought that was kind of cute and fun. There was like a wink and a nod. I don't know if you saw the one where she's like eyes up here,
Yeah, that's funny.
kind of making fun of the fact that she knows everybody looks at her boobs all the time. So yeah, I mean, I think that other lady, I don't know her name, the gal who didn't like it, who said it was Nazi-ish, which is, yes, offensive, but she's definitely upset to see the end of body positivity as the main theme in advertising, I'd imagine.
Well, you mentioned the stock of American Eagle, and this was, you can kind of see where it was going prior to the, like, this is the year to date. It was just kind of like, oh, well, it's trending down. Oh, there we go. And you can kind of see exactly when it dropped. Did pretty good numbers for them, which is great.
That's in one day. I
Yes.
mean, it had dropped, I think, 50% over the course of this year. In the last year, I'm not sure where you're starting there with the dates.
Yeah, this is year to date. Yep.
Yeah, I think it had gone down. I think I looked it up. It was down like 48% on the year. They used to be the dominant force in women's jeans, and just to make back 15% of that in one day, and I'm sure we'll see sales continue to climb, and that'll just have a positive impact on the stock. So at least the early days, it seems like a pretty good choice for the brand. And I think generally, like, why do jeans brands have to take themselves so seriously? I mean, ideally, people have fun wearing jeans. Isn't that the point of wearing jeans? Young people having fun. So to get back to a little lightheartedness, a little fun, pretty girls in jeans, it seems like a good idea for this brand.
Well, you as you mentioned, you've been in the industry for a long time. You have a new brand, XXXY. We've had you on the show to talk about that at length, but we wanted to bring you on today because I know you guys have had some issues with TikTok. So you guys apparently uploaded your commercial, and then you guys were banned from TikTok for putting this commercial out for, what they say, hateful comment, or for hateful content?
Hate speech. Yeah,
Okay.
hate speech. It actually happened a little while ago, but it's sort of an ongoing drama. It initially happened last June, which was just a few months after we launched the brand. And we had not advertised on TikTok from the outset, but we decided, heck, we should start. 50% of people under the age of 30, it's their primary social media source, so we should be there. That's our target. So we opened an advertising account and we uploaded an ad that we call Stand Up, which basically is an exhortation to women and girls and men and dads and everyone to stand up for their daughters. It's very positive. If you think it isn't fair or safe for boys to compete in girls' sports, stand up. And it's basically saying, girls, stand up for yourself and don't be afraid of being called a bigot, because you're not. You're just standing up in defense of women and girls. So ironically, just a day or so after we opened the ad account and uploaded this ad, we were permanently banned as an advertiser from TikTok for hate speech. This is the ad right here.
Yeah, I'm really curious now. I'm sure I've seen this before, but I really want to see why you're such a bad person, Jen. So let's
there's a lot of reasons. I could iterate them all for you if you'd like.
Well, let's go and find out. And guys, as you're watching this, chat, as you're watching this, please see if you can find the hateful content now. And as the father of two daughters who play sports, I'm shaking. Right. So
I mean, I'm clearly a Nazi, right?
Right.
I shouldn't say that. Someone's going to take that out of context.
Clipped.
I'm sitting here with my Star of David, and I'm announcing right now to all of you that I am an actual Nazi. No.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Well, congratulations on coming out, Jennifer. With that.
Yeah.
Okay, so what happened? TikTok comes to you. They think that that ad was very offensive.
Yeah, it was offensive.
And they ban you guys, you girls, I guess, your company. And so what's the back and forth look like there? And have you since been reinstated on the platform? And if so, when did that happen?
So we got a letter. It was maybe this year, making me go back in time more than a year because it was last June. But we essentially got a letter saying you are permanently suspended from the platform as an advertiser. They didn't tell us why. We pushed back and we said we want to talk to somebody, obviously, about why. You can't just do this. It took weeks to get a meeting. Finally, we got a meeting with sort of a low-level ad rep. She was very nice and I think probably shared more than she was supposed to with us about why. She started out by just saying, oh, well, you can't have children in the ads, which doesn't even make any sense. You know, there's the young girl there in the beginning.
Right.
And I pointed out a bunch of other ads they run that have children. And she said, well, you can't have a child on screen when there's not an adult. And I'm like, well, there is an adult. That's me, the coach in the background. So then she let the ad play through. So it was a whole bunch of kind of not quite honest answers.
Right.
And then finally we let the ad play through and she said, oh, that's why. This is hate speech. You can't call a trans woman a man.
Oh, wow.
She said that's considered hate speech and they'll never let you back on, basically, as long as you do. And I said, well, let me ask you this, because the line that they took issue with was, if you think it isn't fair or safe for males to compete in women's sports, stand up. I said, how would you propose that we say that so we can talk about this issue? And she said, well, you'd have to say something like, if you think it isn't fair or safe for females to compete in women's sports. And I said, well, you see how ridiculous that is, right? Because then you're just erasing the issue. But this is the problem when that's forced language. This language is forced on us because it disappears the issue. So she said you could try again to resubmit it. You could try a different ad. You could, try all sorts of things. But she said you're being watched essentially, and not only will you not be allowed to have an ad account, but your organic content, because we're allowed to have an organic handle. But she said the reach will be severely limited. You won't be in the For You feed, all of these things. And like I said, she was being really nice. Like, I think she shared more with us than she was probably supposed to. We tried again back in February. We launched an ad called Real Girls Rock, which went very viral when J.K. Rowling shared the ad on X. I think we got 20 million views on X. So we thought, this is just a celebration of female athletes. We're saying real girls rock, real athletes rock. Like, we're not saying anything that could be considered hate speech unless you consider the phrase real girls hate speech, which I guess probably they do. So we submitted again to be able to run that as an ad. They said no without explanation. We had some back and forth. It took weeks. And then finally they approved it. But it was like a month later after the buzz had really kind of subsided and had passed. So, I mean, there's been a few other back and forths. They basically don't approve any ad we submit. They think that we are a company that furthers hate speech. And the thing, I posted about this the other day, which is probably why we're talking about this. The thing that's so crazy to me now is what we have been advocating for, protecting women's sports, is now the law, the rule just set in place by the U.S. Olympic Committee. It is the rule set in place by the NCAA. So these are the rules by the biggest sport governing bodies in the country, and yet I still can't say it.
Right.
Is that the dumbest thing you've ever heard in your life?
Well, yeah, of course. And that's insanity, obviously. And there's been obviously a massive culture shift. You talk about the rules being changed, mainly due to the executive order by our president. And, there's been a trickle down effect from this. Has TikTok, do they still have this language in there? I guess Facebook also has some language about protected classes and things like that.
They're all changing it all the time. But at the end of the day, and I'll admit I haven't resubmitted anything since February because it just seems like a waste of time. I mean, the amount of time at a small company going back and forth to try to kind of cajole them when I could just run it elsewhere. I don't know if they've changed their tune since the rules have changed. And I agree with you. It is driven largely by the executive order. But I also want to give credit to 80% of Americans agree that women's sports should be for women. 80% of Americans have basic common sense. And more of those people have been willing to stand up and say it. And so I think the culture is moving forward as well. And these companies should follow the culture. I mean, ironically, the mainstream media still positions what we advocate for as hateful and non-inclusive. So the mainstream media is not reflecting the consensus, the consensus of the people or the major sport governing bodies. So we're just in this very weird upside down world where both mainstream media and social media companies are stuck in the past, and they're stuck in this totally illogical, misogynist world, in my opinion.
Mercenary came in and says TikTok is owned by China. Enough said. Do you think it has something to do with it? The ownership of these companies and kind of the social programming aspect of it?
I would not be surprised at all if their main goal was to sow discord amongst the American citizenry, and certainly this conversation sows discord. So that would not surprise me.
Well, XX.
What do you think?
What do I think? Welcome to Side Scrollers, everybody. Do I think? Yes, I do think that there's. I think that information warfare is a very much a real thing. I think that governments who purchase social media platforms or have access to social media platforms, I think governments of all sizes, shapes, and no matter where they're at, whether it's China or the US use social media platforms to propagandize a certain message that they want. 1000%.
Yeah, I mean, certainly in China, they think women's sports are for women. So this is not if this banning means anything, it is around. I mean, I think it's most definitely around sowing conflict amongst Americans. And for whatever reason, this is like the issue that seems to provoke the most antagonism amongst people. Right. It's like unbelievable the names you get called if you stand up for this very basic thing. And you're made to feel, I mean, I don't feel this way, that somehow the idea that there are two sexes and that men and women are different is this quaint, outdated idea that only someone as bigoted as Archie Bunker might think, when it's just sort of very basic reality and common sense. But anyway. Right.
Well, yeah. And I think that's the most amazing thing about this, is that it's framed as like, you're just not smart enough to understand. Yeah. Like, come on, like that's you're too dumb. Let me just kind of educate you,
So annoying.
It's so pretentious and so ridiculous and so arrogant. I think that's the most amazing thing. Listen, I was born in 2008. All right.
Well, and they're like, clearly you haven't taken biology past high school. It's like, I don't need to, first of all. And they do that patronizing thing without offering up what their factual support is for their point of view. Right.
Well, I'll tell you what, obviously we support you greatly. I feel like I need to order a bunch of shirts because our volleyball season is coming up. My daughter's volleyball season's coming up, and I know that at least down here in Texas, there's a lot of folks who agree with you. And, honestly, I think all across everywhere, everyone agrees with you. It's just a matter of whether or not they say it or not. And, if you,
I think you're right.
It's way too common. This is like a 90-10 issue.
It really is.
And so people are so petrified about this. It's not 2020 anymore. It's not 2022. Things have shifted. Grow your balls. Right, men, and stand up for your daughters. That's all, so, all right.
Couldn't agree more.
Well, Jennifer, we appreciate you as always for popping on.
Thanks.
Is there anything we should know before you?
If your daughter's team needs any, if they want a uniform from a brand that supports women's sports, we're here. You let us know.
Nice.
That's awesome. 1000%. Well, we appreciate that. I'll shoot you a DM and we'll figure it all out. Okay. All right.
Nice to see you all.
Thanks,
Thank
Jennifer.
you, Jen.
We'll see you later.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Bye.
All right. Bye. Jennifer Say, the head
Badass.
lady over at XXXY Olympics. Yeah, athletics. Blabs has a female boner.
But she's so badass. Come on.
I agree. She's awesome. She's spectacular.
Was that an Emmy award next to her?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention.
Paying attention, yeah.
She just had a big gold statue. I was like, is that an Emmy? I was like, that's awesome.
Well, look, she's awesome. I love what she's doing. I very much get behind it. Phoenix, are you back with us again, buddy?
I think you gotta give him.
Yeah, she won
Okay.
she won an Emmy for the 2020 Outstanding Investigative Documentary.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
It was then.
just-
Jeff was like, aha.
Let me just.
I mean,
take
I
this.
was like, cool.
Pretty cool to have just an Emmy just laying in your background. Maybe I'll make a fake Emmy and put it in my background.
It was
over
about
here.
the USA Gymnastics abuse.
Yeah, people don't realize like she was the #1 gymnast in the United States at one point. Jennifer was. Like that's crazy in the mid 80s to be #1 in anything like in your area, let alone the United States. Nuts. Absolutely nuts. Your dad said you should watch this next video, and you don't want to disappoint Dad, do you?